Hello everyone, welcome to VGS Astro. Today we're going to look at Venus transit, and I've never done this before. It's my first ever Venus transit video. I thought I'll never make one, but people have been asking me to do all kinds of transit videos, and with the numerous requests, I decided to give it a shot. So here I am today sharing my thoughts on the Venus transit. Let's get started, guys. Venus is a sensitive and delicate planet which represents material possessions, family life, partnerships, romantic as well as business. And now it moves to the sign of Leo. Leo is the throne of the king, and when Venus goes there, Venus now begets the responsibility of a king, of being authoritative, of being firm in its actions, regardless of what others think. And when Saturn aspects Venus in Leo, we can almost always say that Venus will now have to prove its mettle as a king without being partial. It has the responsibility of being tough as nails. And generally, Saturn brings a lot of insecurities to the person in terms of relationship, in terms of matters connected to the heart, in terms of making decisions which are going to affect many people. And also, it gives a fear of committing to a person because Venus thinks that he or she may not be the ideal spouse, or that she or he may lose the autonomy or independence in that relationship. However, the equations are now in for a big change because Saturn going retrograde in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra is oddly in a state which is liberating Venus from its insecurities. Venus becomes free to live its life the way it wants to without boundaries and restrictions. Its usual flamboyant nature gets enhanced. Remember, Venus is a people pleaser. It loves to please people and not get tangled in controversies or get on people's bad side, especially when it's getting that aspect from Mars conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. The need to feel recognized and loved is on an all-time high for Venus. But now with Saturn retrograde aspecting it, it's freeing the notion of being someone who pleases people. It's giving the autonomy to Venus and also freeing its mind in order to behave in a manner that is befitting a king without thinking about what opinions others are going to form about oneself. And the best way to understand this is when one artist in India made the comment about rumors of having an affair with a co-artist, and she said, if there's anything that you should stop wearing, it's the weight of other people's opinions. So Venus is going to care less of what others think about itself now. But being the nice and benefit planet that it is, it's going to still be kind to people without being soft. It's going to be authoritative because of the Leo sign, but without being tyrannical. It's going to be firm without being dogmatic. Venus feels that it is free to express itself in the manner it sees fit because Leo is also the fifth in the natural zodiac order, leading to freedom of expression, especially when it comes to conjunction with Mercury. So it gets the freedom to go to that person and say that they're ready to commit in that relationship. However, you'll still start to see where the person gets second thoughts about committing to that relationship and start looking for a way to reverse its decisions, possibly through a deal breaker, because Mercury will soon go retrograde in the Leo sign, and it's going to rethink about its initial thoughts on commitment or its initial thoughts about giving someone the benefit, even though they did not deserve it. And Mercury would then proceed to make Venus a seasoned diplomat of sorts, making course corrections along the way before it moves to the Cancer sign. While Mars being energized by Jupiter will also aspect Venus at this time, giving Venus a very unique charisma in its appearance and its behavior. It's going to be a wonderful time for Venus because Venus here becomes the ruler that everyone loves, where it gains recognition for its self-expression, its ability to solve problems and handle crises-like situations, being calculative and possessing the knowledge of how much of something is too much, and also being very candid with its responses. All right, now before it gets too complicated with so many equations to mull over, I would like to conclude this introduction. But the whole point of this introduction is only to allow you to make your own predictions apart from the ones I'm going to make. So let's look at it for each zodiac sign and see what's in store for everyone. Let's get started with Aries ascendants or Aries moon sign. For Aries folks, Venus goes to the fifth house of self-expression, of romance, of children. And with the theme that I've talked about in the introduction, Aries folks will see the qualities of Venus more pronounced with regards to their activity with children. You will find more joy and pleasure in creative or fun activities with children. You will now share your beliefs, ethics, priorities, your worldview, qualities of being truthful, being adaptable, being loyal, and pass it on to your children. As regards romantic relationships, you become more committed to that relationship and begin to see joy and happiness as a sense of family bonding emerges. For single Aries folks, for some of you, you may even say yes to a marriage proposal now because Venus rules the seventh house and he is now in the house of romance, giving you legal partnerships to your romantic relationship, giving you legal status to your romantic relationship, which means you're heading to the next level in your relationship. For some, the partners may be someone known within your circle of family. It could be your extended family member, or it could be someone from your circle of friends, and you're meeting them now and things start to take off pretty well. However, as Mercury goes retrograde, some of you may back out from the deal, or you may mention a deal breaker and say that this marriage is not going to work for you. The reason I'm telling you this is that you need to think about any kind of deal breakers before saying yes to that person. But in all likelihood, you may not have enough information that's required to set a deal breaker till Mercury goes retrograde. But in order to facilitate your expectations, I'll tell you what that could be. Some of you may now be attracting partners who are from a lower social category but have made it high in their social status, which does not work with your family. Or some of you may attract older partners, which again may become a point of contention, while some others may attract partners who values work or finds making money more important than pleasure and fun. So in the long term, if you feel that this is going to affect your relationship, then it's best that you consider these factors right now and back out rather than say yes and then withdraw from the deal, as that could save considerable amount of embarrassment and disappointment to the other person. But whatever it is, it's very important that you match the horoscope before you say yes. Don't hesitate to consult an astrologer for matching your horoscope to see if this will work for you in the long term or otherwise. Venus aspecting the 11th house of social connections will bring a relaxed and flamboyant approach in the way you connect with people. You will be interested in a more meaningful and enduring relationship, whether it's with your friends or your family members. Venus will make you popular among your friends. You can expect less conflict and more cooperation from your social circle. However, you will have to maintain an arm's distance lest they take you less seriously. You will also find creative ways to realign Saturn's mission to bring a steady and permanent flow of income. And since the second house of wealth is ruled by Venus and he is also the natural signifier of wealth, who is now aspecting the 11th house of gains, this transit is definitely going to push you to invest in value-based businesses which have a brand recognition in the market. Venus will push you to invest in systematic and sustainable financial products for a balanced and steady growth. That completes the prediction for Aries. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below and also share this video with your friends and family. Don't forget to leave a comment if you find this useful. Next up, we have Taurus Ascendants or Taurus Moon sign. Okay, for Taurus folks, Venus goes to the fourth house of domestic life, comfort, and emotions. And when new problems, new issues, and fights start to emerge within your domestic life, Venus will help you Take the right decisions to help you find a solution to those problems instead of being oppressive with members of your family. You may also take up loans or borrow money for a property deal or to renovate your existing home for aesthetic reasons, or even invest in a vehicle like a car or a motorbike which you've been desiring to have. And Venus's aspect on the 10th house of career may also mean that those of you running a business will either borrow money to sustain them or face very challenging situations that will make you work hard and find a creative solution to tackle those issues. Some of you may also be interested in starting a new business through borrowed capital, and in all likelihood, the loan that you've applied for will find approval. Remember, Venus is now going to help Saturn in realigning its strategy at work, including its public image. So career-wise, this is a beneficial time for Taurus folks. So the only thing you need to watch out for is that you should be careful about gossip at work, and the kind of comments that you make now may have an adverse effect with your colleagues. Stay away from gossip, guys. Although you may have dual voices in your head about the whole money thing and if it's worth investing now, Saturn will free your mind and ask you, what's money? Go for it if you want it. So definite chances of borrowing money and then buying something for yourself or for your home or even invest in a property at this time. Venus will also bring a certain attraction towards your domestic life, and your focus is definitely shifting towards all that's connected with your family and your roots, your ancestral origin. So you may strive to bring that tradition back into your daily life, which will give you an emotional fulfillment. Some of you will also show a keen interest in taking up domestic responsibilities with confidence and show a sense of creativity in dealing with them. But at the same time, when Mercury goes retrograde, you may rethink about your commitment to taking care of some of those domestic issues and may want to back out. So be prepared for that. And that's all I've got for Charles, folks. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below and also share this video with your friends and family. Don't forget to leave a comment if you find this useful, and please give this video a thumbs up. Next up, we have Gemini Ascendants or Gemini Moon sign. For Gemini folks, Venus moves to the third house of siblings, of communication, of short distance travels. Venus in the third house enhances your communication skills, making Geminis more charming and persuasive. Excellent time for those working in the marketing field and also those in the creative field, because Venus is your fifth lord and he's now in the Leo sign, which is a natural signifier of creative self-expression. And when the fifth lord goes there, it's enhancing the natural signification of that house. Also an excellent time for activities that require effective communication, such as writing and speaking. Some of you may bring foreign elements in your communication, like speak with a foreign tongue or incorporate technical terms from an old language like Sanskrit or Latin while communicating, which will bring a sense of authority in what you say. You will be seen as both knowledgeable, spiritual, and authoritative in the subject that you now tend to speak about. This is possible because Saturn is aspecting the third house from the ninth. In effect, this transit, you will see yourself as being extremely persuasive with people. Some Gemini folks, especially students, may want to hone their communication skills, to hone their skills to deal with foreign people while traveling in a foreign country. You may take up training related to this. You may be someone who is a native Spanish speaker and now would like to travel to China or Japan, where you'll have to learn that language to adapt and survive. This could be for both work as well as education related reasons. So you will take up training related to that language. As regards siblings, Venus can help you bring harmony in your relationship with them. This time is also favorable for strengthening the bonds with brothers and sisters, resolving conflicts, and enjoying shared activities together. Venus in the third house gives you courage and leadership qualities. especially because of its push from Mars and Jupiter. Gemini folks will feel more confident to start new initiatives, to lead projects, and express their opinions like never before without inhibitions, without feeling insecure that your voice may not be heard. This is a favorable time for pursuing higher education as well, attending training or engaging in any form of learning that will give you food for thought. You will also find opportunities for travel, also to meet new people during this time, which will prove to be fruitful and prosperous. Venus's aspect on the ninth, where Saturn is currently in retrograde motion, will help those who are into publishing, whether it's on social media or engaging in media-related activities, including any form of communication that reaches a wider audience. You will find this period to be very favorable, regardless of the content that you want to publish. But once Mercury goes retrograde, some of you may go back and edit that publication, edit what you've already stated. And how very true, because this is also corroborated by Saturn, which is now retrograde in the ninth house. Your relationship with your father, despite the differences you've had with him, will be cordial, but be authoritative and firm while you address or communicate with him. Just as I mentioned in the introduction, Saturn frees you to speak your mind, and you are going to exactly do that. Your true feelings, or that which you've hidden all along because of the fear of being reprimanded or rejected, is now going away. It's no more valid. And when you speak your mind, your father might be at a loss for words. Okay, that's all for Gemini folks. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below, give this video a thumbs up, and share this among your friends and family. Next up, we have Cancer Ascendants or Cancer Moon sign. Okay, for Moon children, Venus now goes to the second house of family, of material possessions, of values, and it rules the 11th house and 4th house. So in the second house, it can quite easily indicate an addition to the family being the 11th lord. Venus is a planet of excesses and celebration. So you can think of a family reunion or celebration that might take place at this time. But being the 11th lord, Venus is also a Badakesh, which means you will have difficulty in fulfilling your duties towards members of your family, fulfilling financial obligations, fulfilling material possessions. Either you or your spouse will bring restrictions in saving money or buying that desired stuff. You may be thinking of investing money in a vehicle, whereas your spouse may be thinking, why not invest in a brand new TV? So there could be some friction, but nonetheless, you will lose your guard and try and bring more love and harmony in your relationship, and also rethink how you can handle joint finances and investments with your spouse in a more fulfilling way that will lead to stability and security because of the aspect of Saturn from the 8th house. So one of the solutions that I could think of is, well, let's look at this combination before I reveal that. Second house indicates family values. Fourth house indicates traditions. And both are now affecting your savings as well as joint finances through Venus's aspect on the 8th, which means you may now save money or invest in anything that meets your core beliefs and tradition. And since Venus is in the sign of Leo, you're likely to invest in stuff that symbolizes power, wealth, and status. Saturn's 8th aspect means security, traditional investment because of fourth lord of traditions and second house of family values. So big chances of investing in what? Big chances of investing in gold. Traditionally, especially in India, gold has historically acted as a hedge against inflation. When inflation rises, the value of currency tends to decline, but often gold retains its value. And Saturn's eighth aspect means secured investment, right? And what better than gold? Therefore, you're likely to invest in products that add meaning and something that enhances your social status. Being the fourth lord may bring in a lot of comforts and luxuries within the family, but at the same time, it may also take a liberal approach towards family values. That doesn't mean that Venus will not respect or adhere to traditions or wisdom passed on by ancestors. It will definitely adhere to them. In fact, maybe even become very strict in implementing those traditions. Yet, you will see yourself or your spouse being less dogmatic and giving a concession for deviations. Venus's aspect on the eighth house signifies a change in your state of mind with regards to fears and insecurities. You will find targeted ways to deal with those fears. You will see some happiness come to you during this transit, possibly disappearing of depression or some fear. If you've been going through some bad ordeals, all that is coming to pass. But watch out when Mercury becomes conjunct with Venus and then goes retrograde, where it can actually give you negative results with regards to excesses in food, in your fears, and also in dealing with your in-laws. Okay, forewarned is forearmed. And that's all I've got for Moon Children. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below. Do watch the introduction to get a better understanding of what this transit holds for you. Give this video a thumbs up and share this with your friends and family. Moving on, we have Leo Ascendants or Leo Moon sign. For Leos, we have Venus moving into the first house of self, appearance, behavior, and growth both physically and mentally. So during this transit, some of you may buy new clothes, new jewelry, see yourself in a different light, with some flamboyance in the way you appear. Now, the important part is that Venus rules the third house of communication and 10th house of occupation. The Leo sign is also strongly associated with a sense of duty, working towards higher principles, being broad-minded, looking at the bigger picture. And when Venus comes here with aspect from Mars conjunct Jupiter, Venus will give you lofty ideals, dharmic disposition, no doubt about that. But sometimes it does come at a cost. Being overly charitable comes at a cost. Many of you will now have to compromise and change your attitude, especially the manner in which you communicate with people, including your partner. The way you approach people or the way you behave when someone approaches you. This is true with regards to your servants as well. You will now be forced to compromise, let go, and be as less dictating as possible. So remember not to be harsh on other people, on your servants, as that might backfire at this time. Many of you Leos will also lose your inhibitions while communicating. So watch out for what you say and how you say it, especially with regards to communication through text messages where there can be some kind of a loose talk and someone taking advantage of you because of that. Now, text messages through your phone or social media, all of that is possible, where you end up saying something which you shouldn't be saying, and also be aware of what you're committing to, because backtracking once you have committed to something becomes extremely difficult. For more on this, do watch the introduction of this transit video to get a better understanding. Additionally, this transit will also give you interest in fine arts, like playing a violin or learning how to play a guitar or finding interest in photography, self-portraits, classical music. All of this is also possible for those who are adept in crafts or event management. you will see a boost in the way you create, organize, and then bring out the final product. You will no doubt find very novel ways to stand out from the rest of the crowd. It might look funny to some, but you will still go ahead and do it because your spirit calls for being more experimental at this time. And you're just testing waters to see how people will react or accept you. And because of Venus's aspect on the seventh house, some single Leos may find a partner, whether business or romantic, during this transit. And that's definitely going to give you a zing factor to your life. Your partner may, in fact, be all that you expected from them. And usually your logical mind would tell you that it's too good to be true and uh, let's not commit to anything. But this is a time where you would feel like you'd want to experiment and see if the match really works for you. But be cautious of what you commit to at this time, whether it is with regards to your appearance on spending money, on the way you look, whether that's fashion or makeover, or eating out at expensive restaurants, or going on expensive dates. Make sure if it's sustainable in the long run. Some of you may even end up sacrificing your self-identity. For example, someone who has been a vegetarian all through their lives may now turn into non-vegetarians for the sake of their spouse. This could be very difficult to achieve, and it will definitely put you in a tight spot to retract, and in all likelihood, you may in fact find the idea of sacrificing your self-identity ridiculous and repulsive. So if you're looking to get married, don't be in haste. Take your time, match your horoscopes, consult an astrologer, see if you and your partner is going through the right dasha and bhukti, and then take a call. So that's all I've got for Leos. If you're new to my channel, I'm hoping you'd subscribe, like, and give this video a thumbs up. And next in line, we have Virgo Ascendants or Virgo Moon sign. Okay, for Virgo folks, Venus now goes to the 12th house of spirituality, isolation, hidden things, subconscious mind, and also foreign travels. Venus is the lord of the second house as well as the ninth house. So here, Venus can give you long distance travel with your family, especially because of favors from your employer to travel to some place. You can think of leave travel concessions because of which you're going to go on a vacation, meeting new people with different languages and cultural backgrounds. It could be because of a business trip where you go to an exotic place, get to experience different kinds of food, get to experience different kind of traditions. So a wonderful time for Virgo folks where you can kick back and relax and also pass on the bill to your employer where much of your travel expenses get covered. This could also happen to your spouse alone where they move to a different location, allowing them to recharge and come back with more zeal and enthusiasm because Venus represents your partner. Your father may also go on a spiritual retreat at this time because Venus is the ninth lord moving to the 12th house. But additionally, ninth emphasizes higher education. For students, this might mean taking out a loan or borrowing money and moving to a foreign country for higher education or even upgrading their skills because of Venus's aspect on the sixth house, while Saturn is retrograde in the sixth. And this transit quite easily signifies a triggering point for such journeys abroad. Alternatively, ninth indicates higher education in philosophy and spirituality. And when it comes to the 12th house, it shows progress in spiritual sciences, progress in your open-minded approach to accepting other faiths, other philosophies, contrary to the ones you've been following all these years. Some of you may also engage in artistic endeavors that promotes inner peace, like dancing to the tune of Hare Krishna by someone who belongs to a different religion. And as long as it makes sense, you have no problem accommodating other faiths. But you or someone in your family does now face the risk of converting to a different religion. And in fact, they may go ahead and say yes, but then at a later date, understand how difficult this might be and would definitely want to retract, want to come back. So be cautious of such situations, as you may now risk losing your family to a different traditional practice, but as long as it's beneficial, there's no requirement to worry. Problem would only begin when you feel that this isn't the right path or this isn't what you wanted based on what you've heard and understood. Venus's aspect on the sixth house definitely would indicate a loss of some disease or some chronic ailment and finding a solution to that problem. But that does come at a cost, which means you will be spending money for medical treatment, however negligible that may be, which may later get reimbursed by your employer because of Venus transiting the sign of Leo. So you can expect rectifying past mistakes. And also, since it's in the 12th house, which represents eyesight, some Virgos will definitely consult an ophthalmologist at this time, whether you are a Virgo ascendant or a Virgo moon sign. Okay, that's all I've got for Virgos. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below, give this video a thumbs up, and share this among your friends and family. Next in line, we have Libra ascendant or Libra moon sign. For Librans, Venus transits to the 11th house of gains, fame, success, network circle, and Venus rules the first and 8th house. So here we are looking at changing employment or employers, trying new scales of pay, ending of some profits, or the beginning of a new stream of income, possibly through your spouse who may get employed or through hidden sources, including through media and entertainment, through creative self-expression like arts, music, fashion, and also through knowledge of metaphysics where you get an opportunity to collaborate with someone similar. So remember what I mentioned in the introduction. Okay, on that line, be cautious about committing to collaborations to your network circle, to your friends or family, about earning together or getting paid for an advert or marketing something. Otherwise, you may have to go back and say no to it just because that could adversely affect your income or taint your reputation of or with your employer, especially because Venus is the 8th lord in the sign of Leo, which is governance and 11th house of income. The problem is also compounded by Mars conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter for you is a functionally malefic planet indicating disputes and challenges. So you better stay away from collaborations or agreeing to work on a commission basis with someone other than your principal employer. However, Venus owning the 8th house of sudden events, which now goes to the 11th house, suggests that there may be sudden gain of money. Maybe it's through inheritance, or maybe it's through speculative income, through media, through creative work which you intend to sell because of Venus and Saturn's mutual aspect. And there's no problem in this as long as you're not collaborating with other people. If you do, take all necessary precautions, particularly with collaborations, and in most cases, it's the lure of money that makes people take crazy decisions. So don't run after money at this time. Not very conducive for you. Let money come to you, but you stay grounded. And don't worry just because it's the 8th going to the 11th, as 8th in certain circumstances can indicate positive outcomes as well, like happiness and pleasure. Especially now, as Venus being the ruler of the 8th is 4 places away from itself, which means it's comfortable, it's happy, relaxed, and most importantly, 11th is an Upacha house, which improves the quality of the planet that's placed there over a period of time. So the older you are, the more beneficial this transit is going to be. 8th house is also the house of longevity. So its lord in the 11th is improving the natural significations of the 8th house of longevity, giving your life more power and energy. And how very true, especially with Mars conjunct Jupiter now transiting in the 8th house. So Venus now entering the sign of Leo becomes a triggering point for a longer span of life and gaining immunity and strength to itself. During this transit, you will also suddenly gain status and respect in society. Your name will be heard by many people. Many are going to even believe in the good work that you do. People in authoritative positions will treat you like a member of their family. So popularity and gain in authority at work is one of the themes we are looking at for Librans. But remember, this is a short transit, so don't expect astounding results. But yes, this transit will give you the required recognition. Venus aspecting the fifth means childbirth or conception for some Librans, and also may indicate sudden events coming in the life of your children, which you need to take care of. So take very good care of your children. And that's all I've got for Librans. Hope you've subscribed to my channel by now. If you haven't, please do so. Give this video a thumbs up and share this with your friends and family. Moving forward, we have Scorpio Ascendants or Scorpio Moon sign. For Scorpios, Venus transits to the 10th house of occupation, vocation, public image in the sign of Leo, and it rules your 12th house and your 7th house. So here Venus isn't really about dereliction of duty or shirking work. Rather, it's about finding ways to help people at your workplace. Venus may now give you a leadership position, or you may now assume the role of a leader within your team. You will be kind to your subordinates, with the team that you work with the people who now come under your administrative jurisdiction. But you will be firm, you will be authoritative without being too harsh or tyrannical. You'd be kind but firm. And I think I've already mentioned this in the introduction of this video, and that portion of the narrative fits perfectly for Scorpios. Venus being the 12th and 7th lord will bring travel to you through work. You will be going places, meeting new people, different countries even. Some of you may even get the option of working from a long distance. You will be required to manage work from far away, from a remote location. Excellent time for digital nomads who travel while they work. And importantly, this is a time where you have to offer concessions to your employees, to your teammates, and make necessary adjustments. For those of you in top leadership position, it may be some policy decision that will benefit the entire workforce. So be aware of what you're committing to, because that might later become a hurdle when Mercury goes retrograde and you want to roll back that decision. But for Scorpios, Mercury conjunct Venus may actually work in your favor because of the Viparit Raj Yoga, where you take the risk to change something based on a social or political upheaval, and that might actually tip the scale in your favor. For those working in creative areas like arts, music, fashion, media, and entertainment, this can be an excellent time to see yourself enjoying and reveling in glory. You may receive praise and rewards for the good work done. Also, shine in roles that require leadership, creativity, and public interaction, which naturally comes to you because your sign is ruled by Mars. 12th is also connected with isolation and being alone in your journey. So whatever you're going through now, you pretty much feel like you're the only one going through it, and you have less support from people who are in a similar situation because they probably backed out, but you took the call to push forward. So naturally, you'd wish that you could connect with someone at a deeper psychological or even platonic level, craving love and affection where there seems to be none. But if your dasha and bhukti are also conducive, then destiny may actually send someone right now who might offer succor at this time. But be wary of how much you reveal about yourself when it comes to also crossing the line. Venus's aspect on the 4th house may allow you to now focus on renovating your home and decoration projects, taking care of your domestic life with a keen eye for beauty and aesthetics, possibly through foreign elements or novel things that makes your life, especially your living space, more comfortable and visually pleasing. And that's all I've got for Scorpios. If you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet, please subscribe below, give this video a thumbs up, and please share this with your friends and family. Yes, folks, Venus transits to the 9th house of Father, of Bhagya, which is luck, long distance travel, and also Higher education. Venus rules your 11th house and 6th house. So this transit may bring health concerns and loans to your father. But it could also mean that this borrowing of money would be for an auspicious reason. And he will find support from yourself, your mother, and your maternal uncle or maternal aunt during this time. All of you will give the necessary motivation and energy to help him find a resolution. He will lose his insecurities to a great extent. Be firm in his decisions. You will serve your father in the most caring yet authoritative way, which will bring beneficial results to him. Being the 11th lord in the ninth would mean your travels are going to increase. You will gain knowledge of higher truths and wisdom of forefathers. And some of you may even make distant travels to a holy place like a temple or a church or a mosque, depending on your religion. But it will not be without its set of challenges because Venus also rules the sixth house and now transits the ninth. Some Sagittarius folks may also take up religious studies and also philosophical studies during this time. For those into publishing something online or offline, it could be anything from creative and artistic work like playing a guitar, art and craft works, or your talent in drawing and painting, or it could be anything simple like writing a blog or discussing philosophy on a question and answer platform. All of this will have you hooked and urge you to be as candid as possible. For example, you may have a talent to be a dancer or an actor or even a classical singer, but may have felt insecure about publishing your work for everyone to see. But during this transit, you will gain the urge to express yourself without inhibitions, without feeling insecure about how others may view it. So you will be energetic and also enterprising to cash in on this opportunity to sell your work to people online. You will gain connections, followers, and there may be haters, but you will gain popularity. Saturn's aspect is freeing Venus, and that makes it easy for Venus to be more self-expressive, yet be within its limits, be dignified. Aquarius sign stands for humanitarian effort and social connections. Saturn is now retrograde there, and Venus coming into the sign of Leo in the ninth house indicates teaching and mentoring. So you may take very authoritative stance with regards to educating your community because of Venus's seventh aspect on the third house. You will share your wisdom and knowledge of higher truths within your community and also with your siblings. Possibilities are that your father may be spearheading community service at this time. So there's every chance that you might become an inspirational figure within your neighborhood. And that's it for Sagittarius folks. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below, give this video a thumbs up, and share this among your friends and family. And let's move on to the next sign, which is Capricorn Ascendants or Capricorn Moon sign. For Capricorn folks, Venus transits to the 8th house, and in this house, Venus enhances the desire for deep, meaningful connections in relationships, deep, intimate connections with your romantic partners. Because Venus also rules your 5th house and it goes to the 8th house. You want to express your love in the most unconventional ways, yet in the most pleasurable way possible. Young couples will find satisfaction and happiness through sexual union. Around this time, you will also gain knowledge in astrology. You will work in honing your skill as an astrologer or in any of the secret sciences. Secret because it's passed on from one generation to another and which isn't really taught in a university. You can think of anything from life skills to knowledge that's passed on by your forefathers, which your family has been good at. Maybe your family may have had classical singers or classical dancers. You will now get the urge to know some of those arts and techniques. Eighth house is about inheritance, and Venus owning the 10th house will bring authority into inheritance matters. If there's a split between your siblings and yourself, then you will authoritatively seek your share of money. But you may also be more giving than receiving, which means you may commit to giving up half your share to someone in your immediate circle of family. And just as I have mentioned in the introduction, you may feel the need to go back and say that you're not okay with giving up your share of money. That could happen. So be wary of commitments. Venus may be termed as a soft planet, but when it comes to occult matters, when it comes to knowledge of higher truths, or even the lower sciences, as mentioned in one of the texts, Venus has a unique disposition to learn and master that art. In fact, it is the master of all arts and sciences. And in the eighth house, it's about knowledge of occult science. So there's definite gain of knowledge, especially artistic and ancient knowledge, because Saturn is also aspecting this house now. Makes sense, right? On that line, some Capricorn folks may also get into intense sadhana, intense penance for personal transformation, both physical and mental, but likely to be a psychological transformation in becoming more saintly and detached to the vagaries of the world. And that is definitely going to see success, especially because Saturn is also now retrograde in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. As regards your career, you will gain new heights, new positions, and be very fortunate and bring accolades to your professional life. You will be assertive and authoritative at your workplace. Venus's aspect on the second house. Now when it comes to the aspect on the second house of saved money, resources, again, finance and family are big themes of the second house, and here you may encounter sudden events that stir things up within your family. It could be money matters or some secrets coming to the surface, and all that is creating some tension within the family. But you will find ways to deal with them. Additionally, with regards to finance, due to Venus and Saturn's mutual aspect, remember eighth is about sudden ups and downs. Venus ruling the fifth house of speculative gains may now like to play roulette with your savings. Saturn may actually, for once, kind of like be okay with this whole idea, despite it may turn out negative. So be very careful of where you invest your money or how you deal with joint finances. It's best that you put away investment decisions at least until Venus moves to the next sign and see how favorable your conditions are at that time and then take a call. And that completes my prediction for Capricorn folks. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below, share this video with your friends and family. Also give this video a thumbs up as a mark of support. Next in line we have Aquarius Ascendants or Aquarius Moon sign. For Aquarius folks, Venus now transits your seventh house and it rules your fourth and ninth houses. Venus is your Yoga Karaka planet. So get ready to add some spice to your married life, breathing in new life to your romantic relationships. Some of you may impress your partner by bringing them presents, by buying them travel tickets for a vacation, or even giving them the gift of vehicles, property, or entering a new home. And some of you may also bring the news of becoming a parent, and that is really the next level in marriage, right? For those of you who are single and seeking a partner, you may now find a potential partner. You may buy them presents in the hope of seeing approval. They may in fact commit to you. They will be very expressive, assertive of their love and affection. You will get all the right signals, but do not take them very seriously or at face value, because remember my introduction where I talk about retrograde motion of Mercury, and that's going to spoil the initial excitement. They may go back on their word and try and tell you that it's best they go with the flow and see how it goes. Because although they may see some freedom from being insecure in committing to a relationship, they may still not be okay to go all the way. And you may, in fact, be okay with that. So romance is definitely brewing for many Aquarius people. Some of you may also introduce your girlfriend or potential partner to your parents for approval, and it's the same with them. They may agree to it in the beginning, but back out with conditions at a later date. So don't jump to conclusions about the relationship working out for you. Just go with the flow like the air that you are and see where the wind takes you. For some married couples, you may see your spouse take off on a business trip. Of course, you may or may not join them, but there's movement on the cards for your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend. Alrighty, moving away from partnerships, let's look at education. Many Aquarius folks will take up courses in law, gaining education and mastering as a relationship counselor, because Venus is about partnership and ruling the fourth is all about matters of the heart. Some of you may in fact attend a relationship counseling session. Additionally, it could also be about dealing with company financial rules, corporate law, and rules governing food and consumer pattern. Because seventh is about contracts and legal agreements, and ninth lord is about higher education in that sphere of contracts and agreement. And also because Venus naturally represents material possessions, finance, and food. It kind of adds up, right? Speaking of food, Venus's aspect on the ascendant may bring some excesses in terms of food. You may be very demanding in the kind of food that you want to eat. Some people may be given to junk food, which you probably should try and avoid if you want to have a leaner and more healthier future. But what's the big deal when the transit lasts for a short span of time? You might as well enjoy it while it lasts, right? So that's about it. That completes my prediction for Aquarius, folks. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below, give this video 8 thumbs up, and also share this among your friends and family. Do leave a comment if you are finally getting to have a good time. Next in line, we have Pisces Ascendants or Pisces Moon sign. So for Pisces, folks, Venus transits your 6th house and rules the 3rd house and the 8th house. So Venus brings specific influences with regards to your health, being the 3rd lord and also the 8th lord in the 6th. Always means there's going to be some transformation in your health. Now that could happen with less amount of effort because Venus is a benefic planet ruling the 3rd house of self efforts. So many Pisces folks are going to see the end of a nagging health issue and you're getting rid of it for good. And that remedy may actually now come from an ancient science. It could be an alternative medicine like Siddha or Ayurveda or even traditional Chinese medicine because of Saturn's aspect from the 12th house, freeing Venus from all that trouble. Double the delight because Saturn now brings loss of disease aspecting the 6th house. Since benefic planets ruling the 3rd house, in the 6th house can indicate minimal effort leading to outsized gains, substantial gains. A remedy might be to follow a strict dietary routine. Saturn represents discipline, and Venus, the natural significator of food in the 6th house, provides an opportunity to redeem yourself through a balanced diet. Although Venus is associated with indulgence and vibrant experiences, it now encourages you to savor healthy food, including a variety of vegetables in different shapes, colors, and tastes. Many of you may start enjoying cooking at home, experimenting with different flavors. Think of herbs like curry leaves one day, mint leaves the next, and tulsi the other. So this period will be characterized by a newfound appreciation for diverse, flavorful, and healthful meals that rejuvenate you. Also, the 8th house represents longevity. And since Venus is now 11 places away from the 8th house, it means there's gain of longevity for you. And it need not only be limited to you. This may be true in respect of your spouse as well, because Venus represents the spouse, your partner. So they may now see a change in their diet or some disease going away and their life force being powered up with more energy to enjoy life. 3rd and 8th lord of efforts and death-like situation in the 6th house of loans, borrowed money, means that some of you, after a lot of effort, will see your loans coming to a closure. But this may also indicate the beginning of a new loan after you put in the right efforts to secure that money from a bank or some other financial institution. But don't worry, because the time is definitely conducive for either borrowing money or permanent settlement of your dues. This combination may also empower you to resolve any disputes at work with your adversaries, allowing you to authoritatively put an end to conflicts. However, as a benefic planet, Venus might prompt you to show compassion and give your enemies a chance to make amends rather than being overly harsh. So, this could provide them with an opportunity to seek refuge from authority figures. In all likelihood, you will agree to offer this concession, playing it safe and finding a middle ground with your enemies. This approach not only resolves conflicts but also redeems your adversaries, leading to a more harmonious work environment. Okay, Venus's aspect on the 12th house means Pisces folks will focus on their spiritual practices, incorporating discipline and structure into their inner work. You may be keen on achieving a spiritual transformation. This could involve regular meditation, prayer, non-dual self-knowledge, or other forms of spiritual discipline. And that's all I have for Pisces. And also, we've come to the end of the video. If you require a consultation, please drop an email and I'll see what I can do for you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe below. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this with your friends and family. And do leave a comment if the prediction resonates with you. I'll see you guys again with another new video very soon.